At 6:30 p.m. on July 29th, 2023, a 15-year-old girl named Talia Davila Diaz stood right outside her back door of her house, staring out at this grapefruit tree that was only a few yards away from her house. She wanted to go get a grapefruit, bring it inside, and make juice for her family. However, Talia was scared, and she was scared for two reasons. First reason was this was the Amazon, an inherently dangerous place, especially at night. There were loads of predators out there, like snakes and jaguars. But the other reason she was scared was that she was worried there could actually be something worse. And that was because people in Talia's village had been claiming they were seeing these shadowy figures lurking in the tree line with these bright green eyes that would occasionally seem like they were hunting the people of the village. The rumor around the village was that these shadowy figures were actually pelikaras, which translates literally to face peelers. People in Talia's village believed that pelikaras were foreigners who would kidnap locals and cut their throats and peel the skin of their face off and then sell their body fat on the black market. And the locals were so freaked out that they began performing nightly patrols to keep the villagers safe. So Talia knows there's a nightly patrol out right now, and so she rushed out to the tree, she grabbed a grapefruit, and as she was turning around, she froze. Standing between her and her back door were these two hulking dark figures. One of them was like so tall, it was practically the size of a tree, and they both had these piercing, glowing green eyes, and they were looking right at Talia. And then suddenly, Talia was being grabbed and thrown to the ground. And then she sees the other one is holding what looked like a box cutter or a knife, and they put it right up to her neck. And so she has this sudden burst of energy, and she screamed out for help. And she heard somewhere in the village voices yelling back to her. She knew it was the night patrol coming to save her. And so at this point, the figures released Talia, and she scrambled to her feet and immediately ran towards her house right as the night patrol came bounding into her yard. And Talia, she's totally panicked, and she turns around and she looks at her attackers. And she's expecting them to fleeing into the rainforest, but instead, these dark figures, they were levitating in the sky, and they were looking down at Talia and the night patrol with their glowing green eyes, and they just drifted off into the night and disappeared. Ultimately, the Peruvian government would get involved after this encounter, and they would investigate, and they would ultimately conclude that there was an illegal mining operation happening somewhere in the rainforest, and some of these miners, in an effort to scare people away from coming anywhere near their operation, they got their hands on jetpacks, wore armor and masks, and then went into villages and basically pretended to be aliens and then did fly off on their jetpacks. That is the official story as of right now. However, people like Talia and the other people in her village who have come in contact with these figures with green eyes, they say those are no miners. Those are either pelikaras or they are creatures from another world.